Oh, hi everybody! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be getting glammed. I want to show you the look that I have been doing lately on my Instagram specifically. There's been a few new things that I have been tweaking with my everyday makeup to make it a little bit more smoothing, glam, and long lasting. And let me tell you that this is kind of similar to how I do my makeup, but also the very opposite. For those of you who watch my channel, your jaw is going to droppeth to the floor when you see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to show you what I've been rocking on the gram lately, guys. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm at Allana. And if you want to see more videos from me, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell because that's what YouTube makes us do these days. And you can give it a big thumbs up if you like this vid. So I've already got my hair prepared in this slimy clip. And my friends, let's just dive in and get glam. All right, guys, I'm gonna give myself a little MAC Fix Plus spritz just to start the day and give us some juiciness. And for the base, I'm going to prime with my Smashbox Primerizer, a nice little layer of hydration. I've been using a little bit less of this, just pressing it between my palms and slapping it onto my face, very Katie Jane Hughes style. Just kind of pressing that around, waking up my face a little bit, turning it all red. For foundation and concealer, I'm still going strong with the L'Oreal Radiant Serum Age Perfect, this combo, the foundation and the concealer. This is definitely deeper than my skin tone right now. My tan is peeling off like you wouldn't believe. Can you see my elbow in this? Look at that. God, I hate it. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. But anyway, this matches my fake tan, so just go with it. We're gonna bring it down the neck. I took my necklaces off to do it effectively. Also, this is a very, very dewy base. It is positively delightful if you have dry skin. I'm gonna show you the magic later. We'll get to that. But yeah, I'm still loving this whole lineup. I've just put a big splash of it into the palm of my hand and I'm just placing it with my finger onto my face. I don't know why I do this. I feel like I don't know. I like this process, I suppose. And I'm just gonna take that down my neck as well so we can blend it all in nicely after. Taking my beauty blender, I think this one's toast at this point. The product is no longer washing out of it. We'll just spread the bacteria onto our face. But I'm gonna blend this in and I'll show you guys like how truly serum-y and dewy and radiant it is. And I think this is really crucial for what we're gonna be doing after. We want a very, very hydrated base. I also have like my face oils, like my skincare on as well. And we're doing quite a layer. This has got a lot of good coverage to it. I'd say it's medium to full coverage. You can definitely build it up and it does a lot of covering on its own, but we are going to be going in with the concealer as well to add additional coverage and also to kind of highlight a little bit. Just gonna get the neck. Like, look at how glowing this is. It is crazy. And now for the concealer. So I'm just putting this under the eyes and I'm doing that thing that I've been seeing a lot of people do lately where they just like drag it up to naturally highlight under the eye. I like it. I've been enjoying it. But this concealer is lighter than the foundation shade that I have, so I'm kind of just doing a subtle chisel and highlight slash, what is it, reverse contour? Wasn't that a whole thing back in the day on YouTube? So I'm taking my cheeks and I really want to focus on concealing and lifting this part. I have a lot of pigment that might not show up in the camera, but I have a lot of pigment, a lot of dark blue veins and like a big red patch that's on my entire cheek. And I find that often when I contour and bronze, it ends up looking very dark and dragged down there just because I have so much natural pigment. And when I'm brushing my bronzer on, sometimes it'll remove some of the coverage from the foundation. And anyway, I just want to try and make sure to get a little layer there of a lighter concealer. So I'm going to take the sponge and just blend that out. And this is going to look very, very juicy and radiant indeed. And it will just, yeah, do a little nice highlight automatically on the face from where we are placing the product. And I find that this is only doable with a beauty sponge. I've tried this with a brush and you just don't get that same juicy effect. The beauty sponge really is a magical thing regardless of which brand you're using. The way they perform is beautiful. beautiful thing. So I'm just blending this out and making sure to just go along that little contour area. And just for any spots that may appear and you want to kind of spot conceal, a brush I've been using lately is the Rephr 23 brush. It's this tiny little baby, and it has changed my spot concealing life. I like to spot conceal with the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I just bought a fresh shade of this, so I take a little bit of that on the brush, and I just, like, these zits literally appeared like as this day has progressed. So I just want to put some little concealer on it, making sure that it matches the shade that you're using. And just put a little bit of the product there. Kind of just... Okay, so my friends, a very, very full covered, juicy, radiant base. We have so much hydration here. We are oozing and gooing in makeup. And now for the kicker, guys. I have been baking. Yes, you heard me. I have been, actually, I guess it's not even baking in the social media way that you see it often. I'll briefly tell you why I decided to do this, because you guys know I'm constantly harping about my dry skin. I need juicy, dewy powder, like super lightly on my face. But we've been trying to, you know, step up our Instagram game a little bit, taking more photos, trying to like film more reels and whatnot. And I have an endless battle with texture on my skin, and I've just been finding that though I love how my skin will be juicy and dewy like in real life, in photos, it just hasn't been sitting well with me. So the other day, I actually did this look. I'll show you the pictures here. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it. I did this really fun ponytail look, and while I was getting ready, I just was overcome with this desire to powder my entire face. And I was positively shooketh with the outcome. And I simply had to share it with you because I've been doing it every day since when we've been doing these like photo shoots and content taking. So I'm gonna show you what I've been doing, whether it's proper or not. This has just been my process. So here's the base. Again, making sure it's very hydrated, especially if you have dry skin. And then I've been taking the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush, I can never say that, Airbrush Flawless Finish. We're gonna dip the sponge in, y'all, okay? Dip the sponge in, get quite a bit of powder there, and then I just tap off some of the excess onto the mirror because I'm disgusting like that. And then I just powder my entire face. I'm gonna show you the magic. Are you ready? Okay, powdering, commence. I'm starting at the under eye. Look at the difference. How insane. Look at how smoothed out and just flawless and perfected that looks. And then look at how shiny, like it's picking up on, you know, like my under eye, little dark circle there. It's picking up the texture just because it's radiant and dewy. And then look at this side. I am flabbergasted that I have not been spending my entire life doing this. I know why I don't do it. I'm not gonna lie. This looks amazing in video and photo. Out in the daylight, it kind of looks like a crackly Sahara desert, but that's just because I'm dry anyway. So often when I've seen people baking, they'll use a loose powder and like put a whole bunch on, let it sit and literally bake your face, and then they brush off the excess later. That doesn't really work for me. Often when I brush my face too much, I feel like I just get streaks. Like I just don't know if my skin type is the right move for that. But I have found this to be incredibly effective, and I just needed to show you that direct before and after. It's crazy. And I will say, like, because I have such dry skin, I do get that instant like suction of moisture, like that pruning feeling when I put the powder on. But I think that depending on the powder, like this one's quite gentle and nice for dry skin, and I haven't found it to be too much of a problem. I also find that my makeup lasts so long when I've been doing this. Like at the end of the day, as long as I'm not, yeah, this is not including going outside in the mask. I've just been doing this like inside because, you know, I don't leave my house all that much. But it just does. It just sets in your makeup, and by the evening, I pretty much still look the same, which is crazy. So I've now done like the upper half of my face, and you can just see like I look shiny and like kind of sweaty and weird around my lip. And I'm like, huh, this is pretty much how I've been doing my makeup all along. Just this like sweaty, greasy state. So yeah, guys, I have been powdering my entire face. It is the apocalypse. I never thought that I would see this day. but it is true. And though I still wouldn't do this on a daily basis, this is strictly for just feeling a little bit more elevated, a little bit more glammed up from my usual no makeup, if you will. Wow, that really changed the light, the backlight. Sorry guys, I've got a window like behind me and the sun just keeps going in and out. Anyway, this has been what I have been doing lately to amp up my look, and I feel like it's just making my skin look a lot more flawless in my photos and in these days. So that's that. I'm gonna take another layer of Fix Plus just to help like melt this into the skin, and I'm gonna let it sit here and soak, bake in its juiciness, and we're gonna go ahead and do the brows. So for the brows, if you guys are my weekly vlog watchers, if you watched the most recent vlog, you'll see that I got a sweet little package and note from Benefit, and they learned me on the brow microfilling pen. They said, yes, Allana, please don't use the filling brow pen on wax and or soap brows. It will clog up the tips. So we're gonna take the pen now before we wax them. I kind of play around. I'm not gonna lie, I sit and like fiddle with my brows forever. Some days the brow just works, and then some days I need to fiddle for hours on end to get it right. So I use light brown and medium brown. Some days I'm feeling a lighter brow, some days I'm feeling a deeper brow. I am gonna go ahead and use medium brown today. I'm just gonna take a spoolie and brush my brows up so I can get a good look-see at them. Give the little pen a shake, and then I just go ahead and draw the hairs, the hair lines with this magical little pen. My only issue with doing it this way, like as how I have been taught and told how to do it, is that sometimes when you put the wax on, you wipe the product away, and I end up then having to go in with a pencil after just to fill in some of the little gaps that might have fallen from us pressing the wax on. I don't mind though. I mean, I do always have a pencil on hand regardless. So I just go ahead and do some strokes. And then I take the Patrick Ta Shaping Brow Wax, give a little spritz of Fix Plus in there, get the spoolie all nice and loaded up, and I press it onto the brow. Now this wax has been quite a miracle product for me. I've really been enjoying it. I find it to be so much more cement holding than these soap brows, even though you can still get a similar look for obviously much cheaper of a price. So I'm pressing the wax on, and then the key part to the wax is to take your finger and push it into the skin, and this is where sometimes you can lose a little bit of the brow product, but I feel like this is what really helps to give it that feathered, stuck to your skin, brow laminated look. And this also helps to remove like some of the white bits that might be lingering behind. So we're just pushing the wax into the brows, and it's just giving it that true cow-licked look. And my brows, I can pretty much never get even. They're just close relatives, and that's all I can hope for. But just like right here in this inner bit, we lost a little bit of the product, so this is where I'll go in. I just went to shake that like it was the pen. And I'll just go ahead and fill in some of the gaps. It's just hard once the wax is already on. Like this is where a product like Dip Brow or something would be really effective. All right, guys, well, I've been fiddling. I've been trying to make them even, and this is about as good as we're gonna get. This one is much more deep filled looking. I don't know, we tried. We're gonna move on. We're gonna go back to the face. So I have been doing a very intense contour, and I have a funny little thing to note, again, with that ponytail Instagram. I had done this baking, but I only did like underneath my eye and then right under my cheek, which was so silly. There was this little gap left of like juicy wetness, and the contour powder ended up getting kind of like stuck in there, and it just made this blob, and I kind of didn't notice it until really long after I posted the photo. So I've made sure to powder my entire cheek since then, and we've done that today. So I'm back on my Kevyn Aucoin medium sculpting powder game. I'm using a smaller, denser brush, and I'm just trying to be really specific about the placement of the contour powder. So I'm making my kissy face, and you can see, this little line, and as Charlotte Tilbury says, thank you for whoever reminded me of that way back when that was, you follow the hollow. And so I'm just placing the contour product just right on the outside, and I just bring that up to the hair. And we can kind of fiddle, like once we're done the rest of the makeup, if we find that there's like too harsh of a line or we want to blend it out a little bit more, you can always do that accordingly. But just really trying to bring the product up and not bringing it down below that hollow line. And we're really like hugging the cheek here, making it really pronounced, like, ooh, did she just get cheek filler? We don't know. And that's the only place where I'm using the Kevyn sculpting powder, just right there on the cheeks to chisel it out. Then we go in with bronzer. You can use whichever bronzer works for you. Lisa Eldridge largely inspired me for this purchase because she's just, her antique makeup collection is so beautiful and it's like a look into history. And I was like, if there's anything that's gonna be like a historical collectible piece, this compact is gonna be it. It's so beautiful. So this is the bronzer. I got the shade 02 and it acts like a matte bronzer, but there's a definite glow there. It's very, very pretty. There's no chunks of glitter. I would absolutely never tell someone to spend this much on a bronzer, but I've been using it just out of pure science sake. I just had to see. Taking my Rephr 05 brush, and I just take a little bit of this. I start on my forehead and just dab this along my hairline. Just trying to do a really light little layer. I really try to get in the hairs there so I don't have such a stark difference going into my hairline. And then on the cheeks, I basically just bounce it on top of the contour. So we're split half onto the contour and half above it. I just bounce the brush to kind of blend the product in, and I just carry it up. And I know it's a very intense amount on my cheeks. Please do not think that I do not recognize that. I always get those comments being like, oh my God, so much product on your cheeks. I'm like, yeah, but when you're taking photos with a massive DSLR camera and in a bright light, that is diffused so much. That's why studio filming, photography, makeup, stage makeup, kids who dance, that's why they always cake on so much product, because it kind of just disappears and loses its pigment when you're taking photos and whatnot. So when I've been doing our little shoot days, I definitely do a lot more makeup than when I'm just living out my life. So that just nicely blends the contour into the rest of the face. And then I take a little brush and just attempt to contour my nose. And if we need to, we can just take the beauty sponge and I just press it on top after. I'll just take a fluffier blending brush and kind of go over that. Sticking with this blending brush, we're gonna just continue on this bronzer train. And what I have been doing is just taking the bronzer, kind of connecting that contour line from the nose and just going all across the crease of the eye and bringing it out towards the eyebrow. And again, in that ponytail photo, this is all I did. I just took the bronzer and that's all I was wearing. I wasn't even wearing mascara. And I actually loved it so much. This particular shade for me is just a really great brown. It has a little bit more depth than the usual bronzers like Nars Laguna or Benefit Hoola that I often wear. It's just a little bit deeper, and again, it has that kind of glow. I find it looks like a very rich brown on my eyes, and by itself it was really, really pretty. So this is actually all I did. And then I also took that on the lower lash line and connected that up. And then on another shoot day we did, the photos we took with the Fendi bag, all I did was this, and then I just added a little bit of shadow liner, which I'll do for you today as well. And that's it. It's super simple, really quick, and because you're using the same shade as your face, like the bronzer, it just diffuses in really nicely and kind of looks like a natural shadow moment. Natural. So for blush, the shade I've been wearing in all of these moments has been the Becca Songbird blush. It's kind of like a lighter burnt orange, and it's so beautiful, such a unique color. And though I feel like this is a color I would love in the summer, I find the burnt rusticness very much a beautiful shade for fall. It just puts the most lovely wash of warmth on your cheeks, and I'm just using the same brush. I just flipped it that I used for the bronzer, and I'm just putting that right into the apples of the cheeks, and then I'm just blending it upwards, just getting right there on that patch of zits, aren't I? I just dust it across the nose as well. And it kind of just, yeah, blends everything together with a little wash of color. It's such a pretty shade. And that is the blush. For highlight, I've just been living in my Vesca Wish highlighter. Love this one so much. I've just been a lot more focused and precise with the application of this. I just right onto the cheekbone, right there, tip of the nose, a little bit on the bridge of the nose, and just right on the lip. And I've been watching a lot of the Hung Van Gogh YouTube videos, and he's been saying that he doesn't put inner corner highlight on, and I've kind of been playing with that idea and just kind of leaving the eyes be and letting the natural highlight in there. Like, we didn't put powder in there, so it's kind of already a little bit lit there. It's lit. I thought that was kind of a fun little take on the inner corner highlight. So I'm just leaving the highlight like that, just really focusing it here. And I think it's a very nice look. I'm gonna give the face another spritz of Fix Plus. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and do the lips while we let that soak in. I'm gonna take the KKW Beauty liner. I haven't used this in a hot minute. This is in the shade 1.5. And I'm going to line the lips with this. The beautiful thing about this look is that you can pretty much do any lip with it. I love to do just a good nude for me, but that always includes lip liner, obviously. But I feel like because we're especially not doing anything crazy on the eyes, this would also be the perfect look to wear a more bold lip. And now I know not as many of you watch the vlog, so I feel like I just have to mention it again. I got the shade wrong that I mentioned in Instagram. I thought I was wearing Victoria Beckham Beauty Pose lipstick, but it was in fact Pout. So I'm so sorry to everyone I led astray with that. Again, Pout is the light pink, and that is the shade I was wearing. Ugh, and it is, honestly, it's such a beautiful formula. I really love these. They're perfect for every day. The packaging is simply divine. And they're just beautiful, beautiful range of shades. And this is a really nice light pink and just a simple everyday look. Okay, so you could totally leave it like this, put some mascara on, but I'll just show you guys kind of just the tiniest little tweak that I've been doing for my little faux shadow liner here. This is the Victoria Beckham Signature palette. This is one of the palettes I just keep in my everyday makeup vanity. And I just take a little eyeliner brush, dip into the two browns, just give them a little mix here. And then normally when I do my like everyday, if I do a little shadow liner like this, I kind of start from the middle of my eye and I just bring it outwards. But what I've been doing instead is taking it quite a bit lower to start. So I start right on my waterline and I just imagine the line going right to the tip of my brow. So I just place the marker and I just really lightly, whoop, or deeply. My hand does not follow, my brain's wants follow that, and it's kind of just a lot lower than I've been doing lately, and then I just really softly bring that to the lash line, and like we hugged the cheeks, it's kind of just hugging around the crease. So we're not getting any depth in there. Just this tiny little accentuating of the lash line. And then if we messed up and made it a little bit thicker than we intended, then I just, wow, that got so dark. What the frick? Anyway, yes, just this lovely little flick. And when you put your mascara on after, it just helps to give the eye a little lifted moment. So starting from the bottom of the waterline and just lightly dragging that out towards the end of the brow. I can never make my liner even either. One is always lower, one's always higher. I think I'm blind when I'm trying to do symmetrical things. It just doesn't happen in my brain. That's okay. Just like a lifted swoop. It kind of looks more like a swoop than a line, but just a little eye lift. And that's all we're gonna do. Then we'll go in with mascara. I have to say, guys, especially because I just washed my makeup off and I'm doing this again, the Nars Climax Extreme Mascara. Though I love it for photo purposes, for video purposes, it is so quick and it adds so much volume. It is such a pain in the anus to wash off. There's so much pigment, and I find there's very few mascaras, like they're usually very, very obviously pigmented black mascaras, but I find that just for hours and hours after I wash my face or when I wake up in the morning, I just continuously get like black goopies coming out of my eye. It's like you put a layer of this mascara on and it's attached to your soul forever. Like, it's so hard to get off. So use it with caution. That one was really, to be honest, I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes on the daily. I just wanted something a little bit more punching today. But if you want a lighter mascara, it also goes really well with this very, well, it's not a light look. It's really, you have a lot of makeup on the face right now, but the look of it is very ethereal, very glowing, you know? Isn't that funny? We also did like, I matted out my entire face, but I still look glowing because the base underneath is so juicy. All right, guys, and this is the finished look. This has been the much more elevated glam version of my everyday makeup that I have been doing over the last little while. I wanted to give you the in-depth notes and changes that I've been making to just help us to feel a little bit more flawless and glamorous as we enter into the sad winter season. Let's just all feel a little bit more glammed and pepped on our face, my friends. Just add a little extra touch of fabulousness into our day. So let me know what you guys think of this look. If you try any of these tips out, please do let me know. If you have any tips for me, holler at me in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for a new video. Bye!